All right, my brothers and sisters, so this video is going to be super lightly edited and a little different than my usual style, but we gotta talk about the Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 230 leaks and spoilers, and it just keeps getting better and better. Gojo vs Sukuna has entered its second round, and my immediate reaction is, that was just round one? This fight is simply raw as hell, and I absolutely adore how much they go back and forth in this jujutsu battle. And this chapter in particular is chock full of just the grimiest tactics and perhaps the most disgraceful trash talk I ever read in Jujutsu Kaisen in a fight. Today I wanted to quickly highlight some big moments from the chapter and what I found interesting. And with the first big moment we see was at the very start, and we did not actually get to see that Gojo versus Mahoraga fight like a lot of people presumed, but we are given a lot of context about the details of Sukuna's plan and the nature of Gojo's must-hit technique. It looks like Sukuna took Yorozu's attacks on purpose and was able to let Mahoraga adapt to her curse technique, and he was able to see through her technique. I'm a bit sorry for this in advance, but this part requires further clarification, probably from better translations, so I apologize if my interpretation is a bit off, but there is a kind of sure hit order set in domains that is in line with the 5 domain expansions that we have been seeing so far. Gojo has a sure hit that affects everything inside the domain, including himself. I assume Gojo can process Unlimited Void along with the person that he touches, and Sukuna has a sure hit that affects everything other than himself. And Gojo notices that his sure hit didn't affect Mahoraga, so when Sukuna was hit by Unlimited Void, someone else must have taken over, and that individual was Megumi. So Sukuna had Megumi endure the Unlimited Void for him, and I really can't believe that actually happened. He even puts Mahoraga back in the shadow right after the fact. Both Gojo and Sukuna taunt each other and mock that they are growing more desperate in the battle. The trash talk is actually crazy, but this was all according to Sukuna's plan. He used Megumi to adapt using the 10 shadows when he wasn't using amplification, and because he did that, he couldn't use any curse technique other than his own domain expansion sure hit. But now it looks like this payoff was enough. Gojo says Megumi hasn't adapted, but was only in the process of adapting. So next time Sukuna will have to use Mahoraga again, and this time Gojo would one-shot it. However, Gojo was now incapable of using domain expansion again, and his nose just gushed with blood. Yuda's theory was actually correct. Gojo is overexerting himself. Sukuna explains the prefrontal cortex in the right part of the brain houses the innate technique, and Gojo is destroying his brain and healing with reverse curse technique, which is a very dangerous gamble that can literally kill him. I find it interesting that Kusakabe says the curse technique is like a black box. And of course, Sukuna has a black box when he used his flame technique. So perhaps Sukuna has a supply of different curse techniques engraved on his brain or on him. But now it's a bit more obvious now that Gojo is reaching some sort of limit, and Sukuna mentions even if he's not, Gojo's precision won't be enough to keep up in this fight, since Sukuna has a much fresher brain than Gojo's right now. And I really actually like how the after effect of such an overwhelming process like reverse curse technique really comes into play here. Sukuna can actually close his domain expansion barrier to trap Gojo inside with no escape, leaving Gojo with no options left. Sukuna will cut him and adapt to Limitless. And now Sukuna starts talking his shit, saying, "See ya, strongest, a guy that was just born when I didn't exist, an ordinary guy." And we saw Gojo was on his knees. And man, I bet Sukuna fans love that one, huh? Not gonna lie, I was pretty pissed myself when I first read this. It's actually one of the few times Sukuna actually just verbally huffs himself up with some serious trash talk. However, bro really just ate his own words at this point as he tries to finish the job with the domain expansion and proceeds to have a whole ass epileptic seizure in a nasty panel. Because while Sukuna had to endure Unlimited Void for less than 10 seconds, his brain was damaged to a point where he couldn't use domain expansion anymore. And what does Gojo do? He laughs. And man, you just gotta love to see it. Gojo still got his cool points, showing off in front of all of his students. Gojo then recovers his curse technique, uses Limitless to pull Sukuna like a ragdoll and give him a mean punch to the face. To end off, the chapter recalls Yorozu's words, and the one who will teach him about love and ultimate strength and the solitude it brings. That was a cool chapter. I think because their domain expansions seem to be a death wish right now to deploy given the state of their brains, this battle will probably continue to be a very first technique based fight, and we'll finally see if Sukuna's open shrine, Mizushi, whatever it is, can actually bypass or defeat the Limitless. Or maybe Sukuna will continue to implement 10 Shadows to counter Gojo, which is probably the smartest play. But man, I really do pray Shrine actually does anything else effective, because I'm really getting tired of the Heian era Sukuna versus Gojo argument. I hope you guys liked the chapter. It feels like one of the best fights that we got so far. Gojo versus Sukuna stay being a very peak fight. For every time one side suffers, an agenda is pushed only for the other side to counter or negate the other, and this is the inevitable cycle of the strongest with Gojo versus Sukuna. And I'll go deeper in my official review soon, but you guys take care. This has been Enemy Stand User, and I'll see you guys in the next one.